Do you have any final words? Wait, no, that's the house. The house wouldn't have any final words.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Hi, I'm Hazel. It's almost Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on what's been going on this week in WoW with a brand new vlog. This week, the Feast of Wintervale started, so happy Wintervale. There is nothing new being added to the holiday, except for, like, the usual. There's gonna be a new gift available on the 25th. They're scaling up the Christmas cookie tree dagger thing, so that'll be item level better than it was, but still not good enough for you to actually wear it unless you get it in an alt. I'll put the actual number here, I don't know. Because it is the same, I don't plan on redoing my guide video. It would be making the exact same video over again, so I will link the old one, which is still accurate, in the description, as well as WoWed's holiday guide if you have stuff to catch up on. And if you want to find out if you have stuff to catch up on, what I like to do is just type the name of the holiday, in this case take Wintervale, and plug that into the search box of your mount journal, your pet journal, and then your toy journal, and that will point out all the stuff that you're missing. So if you want to catch up, you'll at least have kind of like a to-do list. The Hivemind secret puzzle was solved this week, so congratulations to everybody that got their brand new mounts. And they also confirmed, I think Celestalon confirmed on Twitter, that there is a mount speed bonus. Multiple Hiveminds can join together and travel faster, but only the ones that you did the puzzle with. So they also said that you can repeat the group section of the puzzle as many times as you like with different people to enable that bonus with different people, but out of the box it's only going to work with the people that you grouped up with, which is bad news for a lot of people that did it with, like, pugs. That statement definitely ruffled some feathers online, and I think it's kind of like a why we can't have nice things moment, because if you think about it, there's like three main options of what they could do. Like, they could A, just have the bonus work for anybody else that has a hive mind and make it almost as mandatory as the water strider. Like, if you're going to be grouping up and flying places, you kind of have to get the secret mount that's not, like, super clearly explained in game, so that's kind of a headache. Or B, and I think this is what they're probably going to do, they just leave it as is, and then you have a bonus that you can't realistically use ever, because when are you ever going somewhere with those same people? Or you put, like, a lot of work into unlocking it with all the people you do party with, and then every time you make a new friend, you make them do it, which is not terribly realistic. Or C, they just turn off the bonus completely, you know, spark some more fun place threads, and you know, that's why we can't have nice things. So I personally think that the situation's about as close to fine as it's gonna get right now. I do think that debacles like this and the Water Strider mount thing are gonna kind of scare them away a little bit from doing fun little bonuses like this. I think it's mostly movement and travel-related bonuses that are kind of a touchy subject if you think of those, and then also the whole flying thing is kind of in that ballpark too. In my WoW experience this week, I have been really invested, like surprisingly invested, in farming 7th Legion service medals. Like, I'm not obsessed, but I check it an awful lot. I'll do the Warfront and then I'll check it, and then I'll do like an invasion and then I'll check it, and then I'll like do my my Warfront world quest every day, and then I'll like keep checking and checking and trying to like map out in my head how long it's going to take me to get like the mount and then the other mount and the pet and whatnot. I don't know why I care so much, but I'm having fun. That's the important thing. I do like the model of world quests in the Warfront zones instead of just like that one set of quests that you would do once a cycle and then be done with. And also it's a nice reason to get players killing the rares that drop the toys and pets and mounts and stuff. So instead of having to do one grueling huge lap of the zone every cycle where you're struggling to find other people to do it with unless you like join a mega group and hope they're at the same place that you are, you can just kind of go do your world quests and you'll be able to find other people to do them with because it's an active world quest. And I'm hoping that just by doing my world quests every day out there, I will eventually have killed the rares enough times to get their stuff by the end of the expansion. I'm hoping that that'll be enough, because I don't want to do those laps again. They're really annoying. I also finally brought back baking streams. We did the first one with a new setup this past week, and I think it went pretty well. The clip I showed at the beginning, and I'll put the rest at the end of this video, is the demo of the gingerbread house that I made on stream, and I actually think that's a really fun tradition that I kind of want to do every year, because then you actually get to eat it. And also, it's very fun. The only thing better than convincing that thing to stand up is encouraging it to fall down. And then this upcoming week, I am leaving the country. I am going home to visit my family in Canada for Christmas, so I am gone next week. I'm not bringing a computer. I will not really have internet. They do have internet in Canada. I just don't have data there, and I'm not planning on spending a whole lot of time on Wi-Fi. So I will be out of office until the end of next week. I'll probably do a vlog and stream a week today, and that'll be like coming back, but until then, I am out. It's tough to leave the animals behind, so I don't travel much, but it's been a few years since I've been home for Christmas, and I'm really looking forward to it. Questions from this week. Nilzors asks, Hazel, what do you think about Blizzard not bringing Culturas humans and Zandalara trolls to the game yet? Side note, how do I get to your SoundCloud? So I think it's just soundcloud.com/Hazelnuttygames, and it's going to be about exactly what you expect. I wouldn't get too excited about it. So the Culturan humans and the Zandalara troll thing, I think, has been a mistake, Not the allied races themselves. I think those are good, but I think that they revealed them too early. I think that either because those were promoted like in the original BFA launch material that we had like back before BFA came out last summer, and it's half a year later and we still don't have them to play. So I think that they should have either, if you're going to put them in the launch material as an allied race, then launch them as an allied race, and then, you know, like hold on to Magyar Orcs and Dark Iron Dwarves. Those were not in the promo materials. Nobody would have missed them if they had come later. I think that they just kind of like mixed the order up on those a little bit. Or if you don't want to release them until after we've reached the certain point in the story that we're heading up to, then fine, but don't announce them half a year ago. I think that they should have either just like not announced them as an allied playable race yet and just let people speculate for ages, or put them out earlier. I think that the current situation feels kind of bad, but what's done is done, and hopefully they learn from it. Elise asks, question, why are you no longer putting out pet battle guides? And have you done the new Family Battler achievement yet? If so, do you have a recommended team for Quint Aquatic? So the reason I actually am still putting out some pet stuff, I did recently put out a full pet guide to the Nomergon Pet Dungeon with like a fight-by-fight, team-by-team thing. So that is done and up on my channel. But the reason why I have not been doing pet battle guides for the World Quest Tamers and for Family Battler is because that is the sort of thing that I feel is just better. It makes more sense crowdsourced, and there's a website, and it's wow-petguide.com. It's not my website, but I will plug it all day long, that crowdsources pet strategies, and it has rematch strings, and it has TD scripts, and it has step-by-step instructions, and it has comments, and it has alternatives, and it just makes more sense than making an individual video for each individual tamer, especially when they have so many different ways that you can beat them when they're not that hard. So that website has sections for both the World Quest Tamers, and there is a Family Battler page that will give you as many crowdsourced teams for Family Battler as you can think of. They probably have something for Quint Aquatic, but I've been hearing that that one is just really hard, and my recommendation is don't do that. You only need to beat 15 BFA tamers with every team. You don't need to beat all of them. So there's a total of 19 tamers in the pool that you can use to get this achievement. So just don't include Quint in your aquatic. Like, beat 15 tamers that don't include the hard ones. You have like basically 4 passes for each family on tamers. As long as you beat 15 with each team, it doesn't matter which 15. Testrat asks, what is your opinion on World Quest for players over 350 item level? It makes me not want to do them because I'm getting gear way under my level, 325 to 330 pieces. So I have been doing more World Quests than ever this patch, but I definitely don't do them for gear. In my experience, the only time when I'm ever doing a World Quest for gear is like the very beginning of an expansion or the very beginning of gearing up an alt. And after that, that's not what World Quests are for me. The reasons why I'm doing them are for emissaries, for rep, for gold, if there's gold on the reward for one, and then like for the faction assaults, for service medals, for basically everything except for gear. The only reason I like gear is a gear World Quest to me is basically the same as a gold one, because I can disenchant whatever the gear was and then sell the shard for about what a gold World Quest gets you. So I would just not consider them as a gear source. And honestly, as far as player power progression goes, I don't really do it in a patch after like the beginning of the tier. Like a new raid tier will come out, and I'll do the raid and I'll progress through it and I'll get my gear, or you know, you get your gear from wherever you're gonna get it. And then I pretty much don't worry about upgrades until the next patch, and I move my focus onto collecting things and pets and toys and titles and whatever. So yeah, after a certain point, you probably won't be seeing any more gear upgrades from World Quests, and I don't think they're just supposed to be a long-term part of the gear progression path. Nisbet asks, if you were going to have a WoW K-pop band like League of Legends' KDA, which WoW characters would you put in it? So, thought about this, and I figure a good way to do it, and I'm not really familiar with the League characters, so I don't know if they did this with theirs, but I feel like you want to get sort of a spread of personalities so that, you know, everybody has somebody to root for. So I decided Kelsey Steelspark, Urel, Illyria, Vanessa Van Cleef, and Lillian Voss. And my list may be a little Alliance heavy, but honestly, who's surprised? That Dush asks, any tips or tricks or suggestions you would have for someone like me who is new to WoW and considering streaming on Twitch or making YouTube videos about both current and legacy content? So, setting aside the new to WoW part, because that has its own tips and tricks and suggestions entailed, I do think that's an interesting perspective for a content creator, because most of them will have a longer experience with the game, so you might have a fresh perspective that's fun to watch. But as far as tips for making YouTube videos and streaming, one, I would say do not spend money on it that you are not prepared to never get back. Some people make the mistake early on of being like, I'm going to invest in this and it's okay to spend a lot of money on equipment because I'll get that money back. And that may be true, but I would generally say start small or only spend on it if that's like disposable income that you want to spend on a hobby. And then if it makes money, then you get the upgrades. You know, don't put your egg before your chicken. Second tip is don't fixate on the numbers. And this applies to both streaming and the YouTube side of things. So as an example, while I'm streaming, I cannot see my viewer count anywhere. I don't want to know. It'll get in your head, and you want all of that energy to be focused on making the best content you are capable of that day. Stressing about the really small scale, like minute to minute and day-to-day analytics of it all will drive you crazy. And it's going to stress you out more than it's going to help your content. So don't worry too much about how many views something gets or how many people are there. Focus on making it as best as you can, and then you can go back and look through that data when you're trying to inform a decision, but don't reflexively check on it, because that can get really unhealthy. And then my third tip, which applies to almost anything that you want to do, is set aside regular time to work on the skills that feed into what you want to do. So you set a schedule, and this could be every day, it could be 3 times a week, it could be on a weekend, but it really helps to have it be the same time that always recurs. And then you just kind of look at what skills you think that you need or what things you would like to improve on. So for example, maybe you think that your speaking voice could use work. During that session, you could say, okay, I'm going to look up some YouTube speaking tutorials or speaking drills or voice warm-ups and then practice those for that time. Or maybe you want to work on editing techniques, or maybe you want to learn more about keyword research and search engine optimization, or maybe you want to learn how to make your own graphics. These are all things that you can learn how to do for free online, but only if you take the time to sit down and actually do it. So doing that regularly on a schedule, I think, is really important to getting better at anything. And with something like YouTube, anyways, which involves a lot of different skills, I think it makes a big difference. And then the last one, before you start making your accounts, do some research on online privacy and just really lay your foundation out right. You know, don't reuse usernames that you've used on personal accounts in the past. Definitely don't reuse passwords. There's lots of online safety things that you can do to protect your identity, and it's a lot easier to do if you start out doing it correctly, as opposed to having to like go back and fix mistakes that you made 3 years ago when you started. So just do a little research on online privacy and safety, and then keep that in mind as you go. So that has been my week. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have a question that you would like answered, please leave it in the comments and include the word question. Once again, I'm out of office next week, so I won't be on Twitter, Discord, email, or posting videos, but I will be back and then getting ready for what is hopefully a kickin' new year. Let me know what you think and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!
Alright, just
I gotta make
don't break our count!
no counting.
You're out of focus all of a sudden. I'm laughing too much. Okay, you're good. Yeah.
How demoed is this schedule?
4. Oh! It's still standing!
You want another one?
How is it still standing?
I can do like
Like a thrust?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
It's actually very sturdy.
Yeah. Not bad for homemade gingerbread. Is it good
It
still?
could take a beating.
Oh, I need to eat some of it. That's chewy. I can get on board with that pepper now.
That's very edible housing.
Merry Christmas, everybody.